In this episode of Miniature Landscape Hobbies, we're going to walk around some tanks. Some full-size tanks. One of the advantages of being a historical model builder is that you can go see the real object in real life. This gives you a special level of insight that you really just can't have when working from a photo or from a drawing. I'm pretty lucky. I live in central Ontario, and so I live within about half an hour of Borden Military Base. There you can find a fairly large collection of tanks, ones from all eras that the Canadian Armed Forces have collected. There's also a pretty good military museum there too, and we'll probably do a tour in the upcoming future. So in this video, my son Mitchell and I decided to just take a tour of the tank park one night, and so here we have us just walking around taking a closer look. Please enjoy the close-ups and the images. I hope you see some details that inspire you in your work, but do keep in mind, I'm not a tank expert, I'm just a model builder. It's Joe from Miniature Landscape Hobbies here. I'm at the Borden Military Museum, which is about half an hour, 45 minutes from my house. Just taking a quick walk around to some various tanks. Here we're looking at a Sherman M4A4. Let's take a look around. It's easy to forget when you're working on models just how big these things really are. And to think this is a medium tank, something like 37 tons. M109, M113 is another M109 on the other side. See the massive muzzle brakes. Another M113 on this side of me. T-3485. Again, a medium tank, but boy, when you get up close, these things are huge. Pack 40, 75mm AT gun from World War II. You can see Mitchell there for comparison in terms of size. Got some of those for Flames of War. And so this must be the 5cm version. You found on the Panzer III as well, here and there on the Puma. And a Leopard 2.
Oh, that's Leopard 1.
Or sorry, you're right. And a Leopard 1. I don't own any Leopards for Team Yankee. Leopard 1 for Team Yankee. I got some Leopard 2s. I'll have to get some now that I can see what they look like up close. For being a pretty small tank, it's still really large. Smoke launchers, cupolas up there.
And the MG3 on the top is off.
Some British tanks here. Here's a Centurion. There's Mitch standing beside it. Gives you an idea of the size of the Centurion.
The cast links are heavy.
I don't know my helicopters at all, but this guy was on the walk over to see the M60 Patton tank, so we might as well just get some shots of it. And here's an M60 Patton. That's a big Cold War gem, that one. And there's Mitchell for scale. It's amazing to see the size of these things and to think that that was a Cold War era, well, main battle tank by then. The big hull. It's hard to really appreciate the scale of some of this stuff.
It really is a boat hull.
There's my hand compared to the wheel.
It really is a boat hull.
Yeah, it's got a big boat-shaped hull.
This drive sprocket reminds me of the Sherman.
These things are absolutely massive. Mark IV Churchill, that's what it says it is. It's funny, this is considered a heavy tank from World War II. And don't get me wrong, it's big, but honestly, I expected it to be a little larger. Still one of my favorite tanks to play in Flames of War. Quite a bit of junk spread around this one. Now gone across to the Korea Memorial, and there's a couple M5 Stuarts on either side. This is, for me, almost the opposite of the experience with the Churchill, thinking that it was smaller. These things are much taller than I imagined, although they are very compact in terms of size. Grousers on the turret there. There's Mitchell, give you an idea of the scale of these things. It's always useful for having your son on hand.
Much smaller than the other one.
Yeah, not big. And here is a Sherman crab. It's kind of hard to tell from this side, so that's a mine clearing flail. See if I can get to where we can get a better look at it. There we go. So that's for clearing mines if they're in the way of your tanks. Again, Mitchell for scale.
This one has the ammo compartment protection on it.
An engineering tank that's got storage on the extra storage, I guess.
Yeah. These things are.
Here's a piece of Canadian history right here. The Ram tank.
Turret,
If I remember correctly, this was going to be the Canadian medium tank that the Canadians were building at the onset of World War II. But it wasn't very good. And they ended up adopting the Sherman instead, M4 Sherman instead, as a matter of expediency. And these were used for training. But you can see, like, compared to a cast hull Sherman, it's very, very similar. It's got that secondary turret for a machine gun at the front, which is kind of a early war thing that never really panned out, was the secondary machine gun turret. And of course that strange flat, very, very distinctive mantlet that's screwed on. Never used in combat by the Canadians, and that was probably a good thing. There you have it, a quick tour of Base Borden's tanks. Now, this is only a few of them. There's a lot of them on the grounds, so in the future we intend to go back to hopefully see the rest, and maybe go check out the military museum. In the meantime, I'd like to encourage you to keep working on your miniature building projects, whether they're tanks, terrain, or anything else. We'll be back in the immediate future with more videos on how to paint and build models, and also cover some exciting new terrain. Until then, remember to keep building life in miniature.